In the heart of England lies Leicester, the most diverse city in all of the UK. In fact, probably in all of Europe. According to census statistics, almost 4 in 10 residents of Leicester were born abroad, but chose to make the city of Leicester their home.
Leicester is one of the most multicultural cities I've ever come across throughout the UK. We have a whole diverse nationalities who live here, and what I found over the years is that everyone just gets along with each other.
It was therefore fitting that in the 1960s it became a magnet for a small sector of Muslim migrants from India and Africa, known as the Dawoodi Bohras. The Dawoodi Bohras, numbering almost 1 million members around the world, blend the traditions of faith with the modern customs of the world in which they live. Their Muslim faith is at the center of their lives, and they are guided by the words of their spiritual leader, Dr. Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin. They embody a modern, inclusive lifestyle that closely follows the Prophet's words. Love for the land of your abode is part of your faith. The Bohras are of their faith, but also leaders in their communities. In Leicester, a city some 400,000 call home, the Bohras are small in numbers with about 100 families, but their impact on the community has been far greater.
There you go. Thank you very much.
The Bohras are well-known business and community leaders wherever they live around the world. Women and men receive equal and advanced education, and as a result, many Bohra women have owned their own business for many generations. Together, Zainab Master and her husband, Tahiri Master, own and operate 2 pharmacies in Leicestershire. When it comes to health, the Masters are partners with all of their customers. For a working mother with 2 children, it is incredibly difficult, but expected.
I just think that I like to rise up and fulfill every role in the best way possible. And the fact that we are brought up to be able to have that faith within ourselves that we can achieve this is really, really the factor that gives us the edge.
Members of the faith have taken responsibility for feeding the homeless in the community. Ensuring that no Bohra goes to bed hungry is at the centre of their faith across the globe. But feeding their own community on a daily basis is just the first step in caring for the rest of the Leicester community, which is just as central to their faith.
This is why it tastes so good.
Food drives led by the Bohras have literally allowed hundreds of Leicester families struggling to make ends meet feed their families.
In the kitchen.
Ramadan is the annual celebration of the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. Important because it was in this period that the Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. At the end of the month of prayer, reflection and fasting, the community comes together for a feast to break the fast and celebrate Eid. In Leicester, however, the Eid dinner is a celebration for the entire community. Business, political and faith leaders of all religions come together. These leaders of Leicester know that the Dawoodi Bohras are an integral part of their community.
To actually see what the Dawoodi Bohra community is giving to Leicester, I mean, it is a real honour and a pleasure to spend time with the community and to see, all the work that they're doing, how much they are kind of doing in terms of their own self-resilience for their own community, but then also for the wider community, their kind of health initiatives, and the hard work and charitable work that they do. I mean, it is one of the humbling aspects of the job of being Lord Mayor.
Quite clearly, the work that they do in the community is outstanding, and we've seen today examples of that that are really impressive. Food for the homeless, marching, walking for diabetes, recovery. They seem to me to represent the very best of our common humanity.
The thing about Leicester is, it's a great city in the United Kingdom because we really celebrate our diversity, but we also recognise that we've got so much more in common with each other. And that's thanks to the contribution of communities like the Dawoodi Bohra community.
Well, they have a clear commitment to one Leicester, and the Dawoodi Bohra community has made a huge contribution to every way of life for the people of this great city.
Since the Bohras began migrating to the UK and to Leicester, they have had to be creative about their place of worship. Renting public space or gathering in homes and finally moving to a common structure for the faith community to meet. However, a permanent home, a masjid, was always the dream. The dream is now a reality, with construction almost complete at a site in the east of the city. The Bora community, as they do all over the world, work together to explain to the community how the new centre would bring joy to their community and to all of Leicester. A nearby park within a block or more was a drug and crime haven until the community pulled together, cleaned it up and turned it back into a safe place for the neighbourhood.
I mean, the reason we took this park project on is because the neighbours said that it's used, but it's used in the wrong ways. So it's used for drugs, it's used for alcohol abuse, etc., etc. And that's because there's so many trees around, there's so much overgrown shrubs, there's so much weeds. So we took the project on as we're going to be neighbours, we're right around the corner from this place, and we wanted it to make it look better, basically.
The spiritual leader of the Dawdi Boras, His Holiness Dr. Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin, will come from India to officially inaugurate the masjid in the near future, inshallah. It's a day for which the entire community has been praying for generations.
We've had an uphill struggle in building the masjid and over the years, but now we're almost there. I think everyone, if you speak to anyone in our community, the only thing they're excited about at the moment is hopefully, inshallah, His Holiness comes to the Leicester and inaugurates the masjid.
The new masjid will be the centre place and a new home for the faithful. But even before this spectacular physical place, the Dawdi Boras have been at home in Leicester for generations. They are interwoven with the very fabric of the community, as they are in cities, towns and villages all over the world.